What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm Kevin Pelko, and I think today's subject is going to be something that a lot of you guys are interested in. You guys see my social media, you see my YouTube videos, and this is a question I get asked all the time. Kevin, how do you arm wrestle so much and still schedule your training around arm wrestling? Aren't you in pain? How are you recovering? How do you do it? So stay tuned to the video and I will get into that subject and I will explain to you guys how I do it. So this past week I arm wrestled a lot. 5 arm wrestling practices to be exact. And we'll start with the beginning of the week, which was Tuesday. If you guys have been following my YouTube at all, then you'll know that we've been training with Todd Hutchings and helping him prepare for his upcoming match against Kurtagaliangarbayev. Todd Hutchings have been coming up every Tuesday to Wellington and joining in on the secret underground practices. These practices are usually only an hour and they're all towards making Todd Hutchings stronger and preparing for his match. Moving on later to the week, I do my weekly Thursday practices in Wellington, where the Wellington crew gets together. They're usually a smaller group and less experienced group, and we usually go for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Friday, one of my teammates, Nick Rambo, he got a hold of me. He was unable to make practice this week and was wondering if I could do a one-on-one session with him. I agreed, and we did a one-on-one session for about an hour. Saturday is my weekly practice at the Cleveland Armwrestling Club. These are usually the biggest and hardest practices, and most of the veteran guys usually show up to these practices. We usually go for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Sunday, myself and Clint traveled to the Cleveland Browns game, and we arm wrestled at the Cleveland Browns tailgate. If you guys haven't seen this video yet, click the link. It'll be somewhere up here. It was one of the funnest videos that I've made yet, and I want you guys to see it. At the Browns game, I arm wrestled approximately 45 people in a row in the span of 3 hours. And then Monday, I woke up, went to the gym the next morning like nothing ever happened. So you're probably asking yourself, how the heck are you even able to lift your arms right now? A normal person would probably be in the hospital. And that's what I want to get a little bit more into, is how I usually schedule my week. What I did this past week was out of the ordinary. I don't usually arm wrestle this much, but if I wanted to, I could probably arm wrestle every day of the week. So that'll lead us into the schedule portion of the video, and we'll start with Saturday since that is the most important day of the week. It's my weekly practice with the Cleveland Armwrestling Club. And like I said, these are usually the hardest practices and our biggest practices of the week. Sunday, this is probably my off day, where I'm at home focusing on recovery and maybe using the massage gun to help me heal up. Monday, that'll be my first day back in the gym. And the way I'm scheduling my gym workouts right now are 2 forearms a week, maybe 3. So the way I'm scheduling my forearm workouts are, one would be the bottoms or the flexors, and the other workout would be the tops or the extensors. So let's say Monday is a forearm flexor workout. The main thing I'm focusing on are heavy barbell wrist curls. Right now, one of my goals are to get 3 sets of 10 with 135 pounds. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting closer every week. Some of the other workouts that I do on my flexor day would be variations of dead hangs, switching between 1 hand and 2 hands. I like to do 1-minute hangs for multiple sets. I also do different variations of wrist curls and different variations of gripping exercises. Moving on to Tuesday, that might be one of our Todd Hutchings practices. If for some reason I'm not training with Todd Hutchings, that might be another one of my gym days. I also do 2 powerlifting days a week. which are bench press days and deadlift days. So let's say Tuesday is a bench press day. These workouts are geared towards getting stronger, and they're usually shorter workouts focused on strength. Wednesday, this might be another forearm day, and if it is, it's going to be focused on the tops of the forearms or the extensors. The most important workouts for forearm extensors are going to be your reverse barbell curls. You could switch those out with reverse curls with the easy bar, hammer curls, and reverse wrist curls. Moving on to Thursday, this is going to be my weekly practice with the Wellington crew. And like I said, these are usually smaller practices with less experienced people. And going to these smaller practices actually help me heal because I'm not going hard. I'm getting a lot of blood flow into my elbows, and it's just keeping me healthy, moving on the table and doing things very lightly. Friday, this is either going to be another powerlifting day or another forearm day. And if it's a powerlifting day, that's going to be my deadlift day, which are also shorter workouts and geared towards strength. If my forearms are feeling good, that might be another forearm flexor day. And that takes us back to Saturday, which would be back to the Cleveland Armwrestling Club and my weekly practice. So obviously training cycles change over time. However, this is the one that's working for me right now. I'm not doing a lot of arm wrestling specific stuff. I'm doing a lot of arm wrestling, and I'm going to the gym getting stronger. However, it's taken me years to figure out what works best for me. And if it wasn't for my experience, you know, I might not be able to do these type of workouts. And that'll take us into the next portion of the video, which is going to be experience and my time in the sport. So experience is probably the most important part of our sport. I at one time was just like you guys, and I started the sport at the very bottom. I've had all the same pains that you guys have experienced or are experiencing right now. I've had the inner elbow pain. I've had the brachialis pain that feels like you have a broken arm. Trust me, I know it sucks. But that's almost like the first phase of the sport. If you can get through that initial pain phase of arm wrestling, that's when you're gonna start adapting to the sport and building your body to be stronger and stronger. But how did I get here in the first place? So before I ever even arm wrestled, I was a rock climber of almost 5 years. And rock climbing builds a lot of the same strengths as arm wrestling and uses a lot of the same muscles as arm wrestling. And before I ever even rock climbed, I was a wrestler in high school. So I was already an endurance athlete long before I ever arm wrestled. And when I first got into the sport almost 10 years ago, there's no way that I could do the things back then that I could do right now. When I first started, one practice a week was by far enough for me. And I would still go to that practice the next week. I would still have severe brachialis pain, and it would prevent me from even arm wrestling that day. But as I got through that initial phase, and I continued arm wrestling and adapting to the sport, your body will slowly get stronger and stronger. So now I get to year 5. I can do a little bit more. I can do 2 table practices a week and go a little bit harder in the gym. Now I get to year 8. I can do 3 practices a week. My body has slowly adapted and built stronger and stronger. And that's why you see guys like Devon, Larratt, and Todd Hutchings, who have been in this sport for 25 to 30 years, and they can arm wrestle every day for hours. And I think I'm right up there with them as far as endurance and durability. And that's just from years and years of doing this sport. I know 5, 10, 15 years sounds like a long time, but one day you guys will be there and you'll be able to do a lot more now than you were able to do back then. And something else that has helped me stay healthy throughout all these years was having a good diet. And that'll take us into the next part of the video is, some of my nutrition and how I stayed healthy throughout the years due to a good diet. So I don't want to get into diet too much because it's not like I'm out here with some secret diet or eating foods that you guys don't know about. However, I do want to give some tips on things to avoid. And I don't want to be the food police saying you can't have this or you can't have that. But when you're an athlete competing at the highest level, you need to be doing things that separate you from the rest of the pack. Look, we're all out here working hard. We're all out here doing things that are trying to separate us from our opponent. So if changing up your diet or avoiding some of these things are something that could separate you from someone else, then you might be interested in what I have to say. For me personally, I don't eat any fast food. I couldn't tell you the last time I went to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's. And if I do have to eat it, I'm usually trying to get a healthier option, such as Subway or Chipotle. Another thing to avoid would be pop or soda. If you guys don't know this, 1 can of pop already exceeds your daily limit of sugar. So if somebody's drinking 3, 4, 5 sodas in a day, I guarantee you all that sugar is somehow affecting your performance. Candy. I know it's inevitable. It's everywhere we go. If we're at the store in the checkout line, what's sitting there right next to us? A whole shelf of candy. And I'm not saying that you guys can never eat it, but definitely try to eat it a lot less than what you do. Once again, candy is just filled with processed sugars, and those processed sugars are so horrible for your performance. Alcohol. This is a huge one, and I'm not saying alcohol is the worst thing in the world because I know everybody likes to partake in their drinks. However, if you're drinking alcohol a lot or you're drinking it excessively, I guarantee you it's affecting your performance. Alcohol drastically affects the way that you sleep, and if you're not sleeping properly, you're not recovering properly, and you're definitely not performing properly. So, like I said, I'm not trying to sit here being the food police and tell you guys what to do, but I want you guys to be as healthy as possible. I want you guys to be as optimized as possible, and I want you guys to set yourself above what somebody else might be doing. So if you guys are sitting at home right now and you're eating fast food, or you drink a lot of pop, you eat candy, you're drinking, make some lifestyle changes, give it a few months, and see if there's some kind of, drastic performance increase. I bet you there will be, and you'll be happy that you cut some of that stuff out of your life. I guarantee it. Alright, so that'll wrap up the video, and if there's just a few things that I hope you guys learned, it's that consistency is key. Like I said, there's things that I can do in this sport now that there's no way I could have done those things when I first started. And I know 5, 10, 15 years sounds like a long time, but if you stay consistent, you're definitely going to achieve those goals that you want to achieve. And take things slowly. If you slowly progress over the years, that's going to be a lot better way than if you try to do it quickly and you get injured and now you're back at the bottom. Or you go too quickly, you end up plateauing, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to progress. Another thing with the diet, I just want you guys to be as healthy as possible. I want you guys to be as optimized as possible. And if you have a healthy diet, you got a healthy lifestyle, and overall, you're just living a healthier life. So I know I wasn't able to cover everything in this video. I didn't get into the details of training. I didn't get into really the details of my workouts, but those could be video options later on down the road. If you guys want to see something specific, make sure you comment down below and let me know what you guys want to see. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, share the video, and we will see you guys on the next one.